Hello, I am live. Just give me a second here to close out of some things and check on some things, make sure we're streaming. Let me know if you're here, hashtag live if you're here live, later on, hashtag replay if you're here in the future. Let's see here. All right, I'm back. I think I may have had a little glitchy going on there. Hang on just a second. Let's see, is that better? All right, that's better. Had a little glare going on. I cannot stand the glare in my glasses. It makes me crazy. If anybody finds like no glare glasses, like the no reflection, I guess it's not glare, it's reflection. Zero reflection glasses, like the kind that are like the blue light blockers, let me know because your girl's looking, okay? So I'm gonna hop right in because listen, I used to say time is money, but I listened to a podcast the other day and I have a whole new look on this, or a new vantage point, I guess, is your time is a lot more important and a lot more valuable than money. They're not equal. I guess you can place dollar figures on it if you want to, but they are far from equal. Your time is so much more valuable because when you get to the end of your life or to your deathbed, whenever that is, you're not going to be asking for more money there. You will be asking for more time, regardless of how rich you are. Okay. I hope that, I don't know, brings you somewhere into your day today. So I'll go ahead and get started. Hello. Great to have you. Thanks for joining. Okay. So welcome in. This week's live training is with the Financial Fixer, and it's about how to remove the number one roadblock, stalling or even stopping your money journey. All right. Remember, say hashtag live if you're here with me live, hashtag replay if you're here later. I want to know who you are when you're here. And yeah, tell me about you if you want to leave anything in the comments and you have any questions too throughout this live stream. Okay. So I'm Amanda Delaney, your host and your number one hype girl, cheering you on as you become the money boss you are meant to be. Okay. So today we're talking about clearing our path to financial independence by identifying the number one roadblock and finding ways to get past it. Okay. Before I get started, I want to be clear about my mission. I'm on a mission. We're probably all on a mission of some sorts, right? And I'm on a mission to meet as many women as possible and share my money journey with them, to encourage them and lead them. I want to encourage you and lead you to be the boss of your money so that nobody or no entity or no bank can boss you around. Okay. So that is my mission. I just want to be super clear and transparent about that. So that's a little bit about why I'm here. Drop the word boss in the comments in the chat if you resonate with this. If you want to be the boss of your money, do you want to be the boss of your money? Think about that. What would that mean for you, right? So drop it in the chat if that resonates with you, if you do want to be the boss of your money. Don't just type it either. Say it out loud, affirm it. Okay? Say, I'm a boss, or I'm going to be a boss. Okay? I'm becoming a money boss. All right, so here are 3 things that I know about you already, just because you're here. And we may not have ever chatted, but I probably know this about you, okay? So you are ready to change. You want to be better. It's very likely that's calling you, right? So you're open to doing something new, something different. And that's what I talk about here, is doing things differently than we've done before, right? So, and you care about your financial health. You care about money. And there's nothing wrong with you caring about money. It's okay to care about money, because money is the thing that you're going to use as a tool throughout your life, right? And you want to have strong tools. So let's talk about change, since we're all here to make a change. I'm curious, do you notice when you're working towards a goal that suddenly you feel so much resistance showing up? It just shows up out of nowhere. It's like you're kind of going along and everything's fine, and then boom, you know? So do you ever feel like, shit just blows up when you're making progress too? Like when you feel like, okay, you're finally making progress, and then you just like landed on a landmine, right? So it's smooth, and then you're into a storm. Okay. Do you ever feel like that? Drop it in the chat. Let me know if this is you. And what about when you're working on your finances, right? So for example, you're finally saving money towards that emergency fund or that big thing that you want to do, right? Or that vacation. And then boom, something breaks and it costs exactly what you have saved to fix it, right? Like, seriously, again, are we here again, right? Do you ever feel like that? Or you're finally making a dent in your debt. Like you're paying more than the minimums, you're like making a dent, you're seeing traction, and then boom, your car takes a shit, or something else needs to be taking money from your excess, right? Or you're finally seeing money left over after all your bills are paid for the month, and kaboom, some subscription you forgot about last year hit your checking account. So annoying. I've been there. Okay, so if you're feeling me on this, type boom in the comments. All right, just say boom in the comments. I want to know if this is something that's happened to you, or something that's you've been frustrated about maybe lately, or it's happened to you in the past. I'm curious, right? Tell me some stories. I want to know. So here's the thing. You're meeting this one roadblock over and over again, and you need to master how it comes into existence. Because the more you know it and understand its power, the more you can power past it. Okay. Are you curious yet what it is? Are you curious? If so, put the word curious in the comments. Okay. Let me know if you're curious what the number one roadblock is. So before I tell you what it is first, I want to be clear about what it's not. Because I think, sometimes we think, we're getting, I was just in a conversation in the comments earlier about, takeout food, right? So like, we think that, it's just, an issue with food prices, or we're just too busy, right? We're too busy with, our lives, and we don't have time to cook. Well, ultimately it could have to do with, not making the time, or being distracted by other things, when you really could be pre-planning your meals, right? So it's not necessarily the food being the issue, or the busyness being the problem that's causing us to eat out more, right? So just think through that. Think, through kind of some things that you think are roadblocking you. Okay. So before I tell you, let me go on, let me check some notes here. So I want to make sure that I'm on point so that I don't go over. 30 minutes is like spot on where I need to be, Hey, great to see you. Thanks for hopping in here. So here's one thing that you may think it is, right? Lack of knowledge. You don't have enough information, right? Lack of knowledge is not a roadblock. The things that I teach are most certainly things that I always knew about, but I was never putting things into practice, whether that be because I wasn't having enough support and accountability, or a person to help guide me. But I really knew what to do, right? Like it's not about a lack of knowledge, really. There's something else in the way. So, and is it a lack of discipline? The next thing you may believe is that, maybe I'm just like too lazy, or I just don't have enough motivation. I'm not disciplined enough, right? That's not a roadblock. And most importantly, your predisposition is not a roadblock. Okay. So I wasn't born into money, and I wasn't born into a family that was, had abundant thinkers, that lived in abundance. Yes, did that affect me? Absolutely. Absolutely. It affected me. It affected a big portion of my young adulthood, right? And single motherhood too, right? But that was just the something that I needed to see, right, with my own eyes, that was hurting me and that I needed to make a change with. And I needed to feel enough pain to want to get out. So sometimes it just takes us a longer period of time of feeling pain, enough pain to where it hurts so bad that you can't take it anymore. You're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's how it was for me, right? And it just rock bottom, right? When's your rock bottom? Where is it? Right? We don't know. Sometimes we don't know. Well, usually we don't know until we hit it, right? Until we hit it hard or we get hit hard with it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the number one distraction is. Or I'm sorry, what the number one roadblock is. It is distractions. Okay. So I'll go even further though to say that it's a distraction addictions that are the big roadblock, right? We are addicted to distractions. Yeah, somebody just said, I don't want to hit rock bottom ever again. Me neither. Me neither. For me, rock bottom was welfare, losing my house, and being on welfare. That was rock bottom. And it could look different to so many people. Like it just, yeah. And that's what I'm here for, is to hopefully not allow you to hit rock bottom, right? I don't want you to have to get there. But for some of us, we have to see that. We have to be in enough pain to recognize that we don't want to be in that mess anymore, right? So distraction, addiction. Okay. And I can go real deep into what some examples are, but I'm not going to go too deep into that. But I want to talk about how we're diseased by distractions and how we should remedy this. So I'm going to give you some takeaways at the end. And here are a couple ways in which we get distracted, right? So one, I call it the rubbernecker's disease. Okay. We want to see that car crash. I don't care who you are or how zoned in or in the zone you are. When you see those flashing lights or you see that there's this, road hazard ahead, you're going to look. It's nearly impossible, right? And part of me believes that some of it is, our human instinct of concern, hopeful that, nobody got really injured or hurt. But we want to see that car crash. All right. So, what you do when you see a wreck, right? So, but when we turn to look, but what happens when we turn to look is it slows us down and it puts us behind in getting to our own destination. But another thing that it does is it slows the traffic behind us, right? So whoever is in our space or in our circle or someone that we're leading through life is being slowed down too. I'm just going to use an example about how I was stuck in I ended up paying off $80,000 in student loan debt. Okay. And that slowed down my progress in helping my own children with college. Right. So just to use that as an example of how it affected my line, because I was spending so much time and money, obviously, getting out of that debt when my children were small, my first two daughters. And because of that, it's affected my eldest daughter's college situation, right? So, another thing is the trigger trap, right? So that trigger trap is holding us back. Me too. If you're an entrepreneur here, you might be getting triggered by other entrepreneurs that are further ahead than you or seem to be further ahead than you. They've really got it going on and you're like, what am I not doing right? Or why is this not happening fast enough for me? The same thing goes with money, right? So like when you're working on a money goal, you've got to sit in the suck sometimes. And sometimes when we're in the suck, we get frustrated by getting triggered by other people that, have their lives put together. They've got that house that's your dream house, or, you're kind of looking over the fence at someone else. And we fall into the comparison trap by being distracted by the people we're following that have a picture perfect life, like, for example, on cyberspace. Okay. And ultimately, we find ourselves triggered and feeling like crap about who we are and what we've accomplished, because I venture to say that you've probably accomplished a lot in your life, right? Sometimes we need to take inventory of what we've accomplished so far. Yeah, so someone says, I just want my bills on auto pay and not worry about them. Yes, I do recommend auto pay for all your bills. Of course, I recommend tracking them as well, so that we never go over, especially when an auto pay comes out and, right, it's not potentially expected, right? We forget that we put things on auto pay. We don't want to forget. So yes, I definitely recommend that for sure, for sure. So let's get into how to drive through this big roadblock, right? Distractions. Distractions are your roadblocks. Okay, so you notice that I also said drive through it and not around it. So we need to stay the course because the distractions will keep testing us, right? And we need to find ways through so we don't lose so much time and energy stopping and taking exits. Because, babe, you don't want to have, you really don't have time to find new routes, right? Because it's just, unless of course you've got a new vision and you want to take a different route. But if the vision is getting out of massive debt, and it's a goal that makes absolute sense, stay the course. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 action steps that you can take today to get clear on your vision, because that's the whole point. So the way to get past this roadblock and to stop stalling or stop stopping your money journey is to get clear, very super crystal clear on your vision, right? So you can push past the roadblocks, because if you don't have a clear vision or target, then you're driving to no destination. Hence why maybe you're so distracted, right? So let's get narrowly focused. Again, I talked about lack of discipline and what, your roadblock is not lack of discipline. It's lack of focus. And the reason why it's lack of focus is because we're distracted, because we don't have something specific to focus on. Did you lose me throughout all that? We have to have a vision in focus all the time, right? So I call it the who, what, and where. All right. So ask yourself, who matters the most to me? Who matters the most to me? In my case, my who was my daughters. When I decided 7 years ago to stop with the BS and to call myself on my own BS, I was like, it made me physically sick to think about them living a life that I had nightmares about them living, right? So who do you need to put on your vision board, right? And this isn't all about vision boards, but for why you want to be in control of your money. And are you people pleasing the wrong people? Are you people pleasing the wrong people? You know what I mean? Think through that a little bit. Write this down. I recommend writing this down. Journal on it. Take it wherever you want it to go, but take it somewhere. Write it down. The next thing I want you to ask yourself is, what am I doing? So this is the what. What am I doing? And is that really what matters? And furthermore, what pain do I want to avoid? Okay. So I heard something this morning from a girl named Abigail Adams. If you want to look her up on Facebook, she's Abigail the Advocate. I just had to talk about her because I came across one of her reels because I was distracted, right? I didn't have a clear vision this morning. And I'm glad I did, because once I came across her reel, I stopped looking at reels, right? Because she said, I wrote it down, if you don't have time to do what matters, stop doing things that don't matter. Okay? It's a good one. And this Abigail Adams, by the way, is the first female with Down syndrome to complete a sprint triathlon back in 2021, I believe. So I'm going to follow her. You know, she's got it going on, right? She's meeting her goals. So ask yourself, what am I doing? The next thing is ask yourself, where am I now? And then where do I really want to be headed? We've got to know, have your finger on the map of where you're located so that you can set your destination. But first, you got to know where you're at, right? And then you can't ask yourself where you want to be. You know how when somebody, like, you got a coach and they say, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 6 months? You know, that kind of thing. Until you know where you are, sorry, right? Okay. I hope that this was valuable to you today. I'm going to see if I have any questions. Yes, I don't want to set it and forget it because watching it limits it in itself. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Cool. See if there's anything else here. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for engaging and interacting. And share your story. You know, share a little bit about what you thought had you roadblocked, right? And it's not in any of these little things that happen throughout the day, because those are the life things, the chaotic things, you know, those things that just seem to derail us, right? But it's being distracted easily, which is something that maybe we're addicted to. So think through that. I'm talking about, you know, what we're watching, what we're seeing, what we're feeling, what we're thinking. Sometimes we're distracted by overthinking too much, right? So let's get to the root of that. And so I'm going to call to action here. Share your clear vision. Once you do these 3 steps, ask yourself, who matters the most to me? Ask yourself, what am I doing? And what really matters? Okay? And ask yourself, where am I at now? And then where do I really want to be going? Okay? And when you get your vision clear, share it here and or with me personally in the DMs. I'd love to know. All right? And maybe we can deep dive into this and get you there, right? Let's see. Awesome. Yeah. Watch the recording for sure. I got somebody that popped in late. So no worries. Definitely watch the recording. You'll have access to the replay. And the next call to action. So save the date. All right. I have a Budget Boss Bootcamp. It's happening on August 29th. It is a 5-day challenge and you won't want to miss it. I don't think you'll want to miss it anyways. If you want to learn how to not only start a budget, but utilize it to build wealth and become the boss of your money, that's what we're all here for. It's a no-brainer for you. Okay. So if you want to know more information about that, you can certainly leave it here in the chat, or you can DM me. I recommend DMing me so that I can share the information whenever it pops out. It's going to be coming out really, really soon. Okay. 5-day challenge, 45 minutes of coaching. And it's going to be not in this group. It's going to be in a separate group for members only, for members of the challenge only, my challengers. Okay. Action takers. All right. So I'll be talking to you really soon. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and a fabulous weekend if we don't chat before then. All right. Take care.